Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're watching this, and welcome to Yulemas Day 13. I realise I never do like a proper introduction because I don't expect any new viewers during Vlogmas or Yulemas or Hollyvlog or anything like that, but if you are new, welcome, thanks. My name's Kirsty. And this is the representation of someone that is truly wrapped up. I'm literally in the door. I raced kind of safely, slowly. Went down to Grianaig. I've had my dentist appointment, and I am over the moon to say that I was definitely overreacting. I have some receding gums, like nothing to worry about. And it's certainly something my dentist and I are going to keep an eye on because one of my teeth is shifting, and it's shifting at an angle which is not good. Before it just shifted over, so there was more of a gap, and you'll have seen it if I'm smiling, you'll have seen the gap. But yeah, he is absolutely bewildered as to why I'm getting the sensitivity that I am, because the tooth that has the crown on it has had root treatment. So he's basically been like, I'm not calling you a liar, but... So we're gonna look to getting the cap, crown, whatever it is, replaced. And I'm gonna see if my work will let me do it with my dental plan, because if it does, I get a better crown. And if they don't, I get the NHS version, which is not as good. So I treated myself to a Black Forest hot chocolate, which is my favourite winter drink from Costa, but this one is really bad. I really am not enjoying this one at all. It just doesn't taste like the hot chocolate I'm used to. So I might have to take myself to my usual Costa place where I meet my parents and hope that my favourite barista is in and that he will make me a really good hot chocolate. I'll still drink it because otherwise it's a waste. I also treated myself to Burger King. I have had 2 bits of food today, and they were both potato scones. I just couldn't eat. I was so anxious about the dentist. So I'm gonna go eat and devour my food because I'm getting hungry now that I'm home. And I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of my evening. I've not long put the heating on in the living room, but I actually like wrapped up like this, I feel fine, but then again I am in from just being outside. I regret not having my GoPro for the drive down because it was gorgeous. Like, all the trees are white with frost, not snow, and it just looked so pretty, apart from when you were in the fog. Like, if you went from somewhere where there was no fog into the fog, it was like doomsday. It was so dark. But that being said, I'm away to go eat my food. I will do my advents later on. Don't fall. Right, I've eaten now, so... So I don't know if anyone's going to be like putting things in the comments for the last couple of days where I've talked a lot about the dentist and everything, and before anyone kind of pops the comments saying, oh, we knew you were overreacting, you don't need to. Like, I am 100% aware that I've been overreacting, and so does Scott and probably my mom. But it goes back to like what I was saying the other day about how I kind of prepare for the worst, and then anything that happens, like if it's not the worst case scenario, then it's a silver lining. So yes, I'm going to have to fork out between 180 and £300 for one tooth. But I don't have receding gums. So I do have some receding of my gum line along the front, which I pointed out because I was just like, have my gums always been like that? Like, I never pull my lip down and have a look. He's just like, we'll keep an eye on it. It's definitely gone down a little, but it's nothing to worry about. So before anyone jumps in the comments, they're like, we knew you were overreacting, you shouldn't be overreacting, blah blah blah. Like, it literally goes back to me saying that I always prepare for the worst. And if the worst happens, then I have been mentally prepared. It will still suck, but I've been mentally prepared. Anything else that happens, well, if it's not as bad, then it's a silver lining. So I will take having to get a crown replaced. I did have to have a conversation with my dentist, and I'm like, look, I know you see a lot of patients, but I'm gathering over our time together as me being your patient. You have gathered I have severe anxiety around being here and getting work done. And that's no different knowing that I now have to go through getting this crown replaced, because in my eye I can only picture that they're going to like yank this crown off, and that gives me severe anxiety because I had a really bad appointment where they were trying to pull a tooth out, and it was real bad. Like, it's, to say it's traumatized me is not being like heavy-handed with that word. Like, I'm not exaggerating. It severely traumatized me to the point now that I have now had 2 teeth taken out under sedation because of that appointment. And that was not with my dentist. He tried to take the tooth out. It was not working. He referred me, to somewhere that could do it with a lot more anaesthetic. And it was them that have traumatized me. So I was talking to my dentist and I'm like, look, you see a lot of patients, but given the amount of time we've spent together, you must be aware that I have severe anxiety around this. Like, how does this work? Because it's been cemented in, which means it ain't going to come out easy. And he's just like, well, you've got a hole at the back of it, so we'll just kind of like chip away at it. We'll drill it out. Like, we could try pull it. And I kind of made a face at that, and he's just like, don't worry, like, it's not going to be anywhere near as bad as like pulling a tooth out. So he does know me. He knows my anxiety. He understands it, I think. And we had a bit of a laugh and a bit of a chat afterwards about the fact that my work might cover this as a private dental work, hence why it's like a sliding scale price. If my work cover it, it's going to be £300 and it'll be a porcelain crown. If my work will not cover it, it will be a crown on the NHS, which is not as good. So I need to phone my work to find out if I'll be covered, but I might just leave it and log on tomorrow and check the paperwork. But also I'm coming up to the point where my coverage is going to renew come January. And he said basically leave it till January, because what they don't want to do is start the work. If my work will cover the cost, the treatment, they could essentially start it next week. And he's just like, but what we don't want to do is have you with a temporary crown that could then fall out during your Christmas dinner. So it's like, no, that would not be good and not appreciated, because I love Christmas dinner. It's one of my favourite meals. So we've decided we're going to put it off until January. I have an appointment based on getting it covered under the NHS in February. And then I can phone up and be like, hey, my work are going to cover it. Can we do a private appointment? But it means that I have to find either £180 or £300. So always one step forward and 2 steps back sometimes when it comes to expenses. But I have been saving up my leftover money from my budget. So I budget £60 a week. I might do another video on this, like at another point, really kind of going into detail. But I budget £60 a week, and I budget for 5 weeks every month, regardless of whether there's 5 weeks in the month or not. And any money left over gets saved up and put into a pot, like put into a savings pot. And over the last 2 months, I have managed to save £275, I think it was. Maybe 235. There's definitely a 2. So it just goes to show, like, I can do it. Like, I'm pretty close to that 300. So by the time January rolls around, I should have that £300 that I can just transfer into the bank. But that was going to be for either extra money into the wedding fund or the start of a yarn fund for Perth next year. But I can restart that come January. I really think getting this tooth fixed is my main priority. But I've got a lot of guilt around, like, my dental care, my oral health and stuff like that, and I kind of talked to my dentist about that, and I was like, look, I'm really, really trying. I'm really disappointed that I'm back here and I have to get more work done. He's just like, look, it's not like you're coming to me with, like, tooth decay. Like, there was that period of time where you were here pretty much every month getting a new filling because you had cavities, decay, you'd cracked a tooth, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, that's true. And he's just like, so stop beating yourself up. The reason you're here is because dental work has a kind of expiration date. It's only going to last you so long before you have to get it replaced. So hence the crown now has to be replaced, because I've had that crown for at least 10 years. So it's done me well. It's done me really well. So that made me feel a lot better. Like, my dentist and I at one point, like, I literally said, like, cut the crap, tell it to me straight, like, how bad is it? And he just laughed. He's just like, no, actually, you're doing really well. Like, I can see that you're trying, you're doing really well. You're not here because of tooth decay, cavities, all that malarkey. You're here because work you had done in your teens has now died, essentially. So the last one where I broke a tooth, that was because, like, the tooth was already weakened from work I had already had done. The crown, like I said, is at least 10 years old, so that needs replaced. But, like, one of the things he did say is just like, look, if I could give you any advice, start saving to get implants for your dentures. Because I said to him, I was like, look, I'm really, really close to telling you just to take them all out and give me dentures. And he's like, you would hate it. You would hate it more than you have. You have problems now with your teeth. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, if I could give you any advice, it would be to save up and have a dental fund to get implants that would then be essentially your dentures. And I was like, oh. Like, I had never thought of that. Like, Jaylee had never thought of that. The idea of implants, though, scares the bejesus out of me. I was meant to get one right at the back. Like, when I was in my car crash, 5, 6 years ago, I bit down so hard on my jaw. Like, I clenched my jaw so tight that I cracked my back tooth. That had work in it, so it was weakened. I cracked my back tooth. And I could have got an implant and had it covered by my insurance company. But when I found out they had to drill into the bone to put the stumpy thing in it to clip the implant onto, oh no. So we'll see. I'm going to do exactly what he said, though. I'm going to have a separate savings pot. I'm going to put some money into it going forward, and then once the wedding's paid off, I'll save even more money into it. So that if it comes down to, because I'm still really young, he was saying, he was just like, you're still so young to need dentures, but I see where you're coming from. I see why you're getting to the end of your tether. So yeah. 10 minutes plus of me talking about teeth. You're all probably sick of it, and apologies for anyone that can't stand, like, dental talk and everything. So sorry, I'll put, like, a trigger warning at the start. But it's fair to say, like, a weight has been lifted off my shoulder. I'm feeling really, really good. I'm going to edit another video or two before Scott comes home. I don't know what we're doing tonight. I would like to join the VKN because it's been a while since I've been on. So I would like to jump on and say hi to everyone and be like, I'm still alive. But yeah, I'm just really glad it's not anything super bad because there is definitely some gum, like my gums are receding a little bit. I can tell like on the front, but it didn't explain what was going on up here. But he's just like, no, I don't think it's anything to worry about. When you're in getting the work done, we'll do a big clean and stuff. We'll have a real good look at them. But for now, he's not worried, so I'm not worried. But I do wish my dentist lived closer. As beautiful as the journey was, like I was really starting to panic because I couldn't, like I tried to de-ice my car as quickly as I could, but then what really kind of slowed me down and kept me off the road was the fact that my screen wash had frozen. Like it had completely frozen. I couldn't scoosh the screen wash onto my windscreen to clear it. And that took forever to start working again. So that really slowed me down. That made my anxiety so much worse because I'm like, I'm gonna be late for this appointment. But I got there in time. I got there early. I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna go answer these messages. I'm in a group chat with some friends and I'm gonna jump in and answer their messages, reply to some other messages. I'm gonna get into some comfies, some fresh pajamas, and I'm just gonna get curled up, hoodie on, blanket on. The heating's already on, but I'll maybe put our convector heater on, and just blast some hot air into here. It uses a lot of electricity, but at this point I don't care. What the hell, I'll just do my bit now. 13th, isn't it? 17, 18, 15, 13. Ooh, a whisper. I don't mind a whisper. Right. 13 up here. Okay, so yesterday was a kind of pinky purple, or a purple with kind of like red undertones. Come on, open up. Whoa, we're getting into my favourite. How nice is that colour? Right, camera, focus. So there's still some purple, but there's definitely more pink in it. And that is real gorgeous. Like I would not mind a sweater in this colour, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like that is really, really gorgeous. Oh, and don't mind my nails, I pick the shellac off. I shouldn't, I know, don't at me. That's really, really gorgeous. So yeah, if there's any more clips for today, it will just be so that you all get your fix of Scott. I don't think he quite grasps the fact that some of you really enjoy seeing him on camera. He doesn't believe me. He genuinely does not believe me that you guys actually enjoy seeing him on camera. So yeah, I'm gonna scrapper, boot up my laptop, start editing, and then just wait for Scott to get home. So there might be more clips. If there isn't, it will be a case of see you tomorrow.